My name's Josh Taaffe. I'm one of the directors of this firm, and that means I represent our clients at jury trials. I've been doing that for many years, most of my career. It's work that I love because it's complicated, risky, but so rewarding when you can achieve the right result. One of my early trials was a case where my client was charged for stabbing a man in the middle of the night. My client was charged as being the aggressor in that situation, and the case was all about who was the aggressor, and our defence was self-defence. My client was charged together with his wife. The two of them had 2 young children. If they'd been convicted, the injuries were so serious they both would have gone to jail, their children would have gone into care, so it was really very high stakes for them. My client as well had suffered pretty catastrophic injuries in this incident. He had been hit over the head repeatedly with an iron bar and had a fractured skull. So to then be charged with being the aggressor was something that was very confronting and disturbing for him. The prosecution case was that my client and his wife had lured this man outside of his residence and were waiting for him, stabbed him, passed the knife between each other and caused these injuries. And their case relied only on the word of this man. There was an alternative theory, which was our theory of the case, that my client was outside shouting at the man because of an incident that had happened earlier. And this man came out from his home with an iron bar in one hand and his dog in the other and just started to beat my client over the head repeatedly, at which time his wife stabbed him in order to defend him. So the issue really was, can we cause the jury to doubt the prosecution case, which relied on the word of this man? We were able to find out had prior convictions for breaking into someone's home and assaulting them with a crowbar. He had a history of violent disputes with the neighbours in that area, so that was information we had to bring in through our questioning at the trial so that the jury could see a bigger picture. This man claimed to have been hit with a pistol whipped, and in the crime scene photographs there was a picture of a pistol on the driveway next to the trail of blood leading away from the scene. My client had told me that he'd never touched the pistol and that it was in fact his son's toy pistol, plastic pistol. So in questioning this man, I had him describe the experience of being pistol whipped and having the metal, and he sort of ran along with my question saying, I could feel the cold metal slamming into my head. What's important is not just to suggest to the person, the pistol was plastic. You need to build up the significance of these inconsistencies so the jury understands that this man was simply lying about what was going on. So he gave these graphic descriptions of being hit in the head, and because of the way he described the involvement of the pistol, the pistol should have been in the midst of all this blood. There was trails of blood on the highway, the man was covered in blood, my client was bleeding from his head. And we were able to then highlight through the crime scene analysis and the forensic evidence that there was no blood on the pistol, and the truth was this was a toy pistol that belonged to my client's son and just had no involvement in this incident at all. Our theory was that this was a person who was aggressive, couldn't control themselves and lost his temper and stormed out and attacked my client. In the process of confronting him with inconsistencies and the pressure of questioning, eventually he stood up in the witness box, red in the face, and slammed his fist on the witness box and screamed at the lawyers in the case. That was sort of the high point at which the jury can see, well, this is a person who simply can't control himself. And largely as part of that and exposing these other things, my client and his wife were both found not guilty. It's a sort of euphoric feeling when you achieve a result like that, but also a great relief. It's a strange moment after a not guilty verdict. Often what happens is that the judge thanks the jury, sends them out, tells the accused, oh, you can come out of the box, and then they leave the bench. That's it. So there's a sort of strange empty space of a process that's gone on for years that puts someone's liberty and the normal aspects of their life at risk, and it suddenly just ends in a moment. There really is nothing more satisfying than being able to achieve that for someone by carefully preparing their case and running it to the best of your ability.